Namaskaram. Let me give you a different perspective about psoriasis, which you may not have heard or read on Google. Let me explain to you what all you can do to take care of your psoriasis. Let me tell you how psoriasis affects you emotionally and how not to let it affect you. Let me also tell you how to live joyfully with psoriasis and, of course, what homeopathy can do for you. Once you're diagnosed with psoriasis, your doctor will tell you the following. Your skin cells do not know when to stop multiplying. They go on and they form scales. He'll tell you that your problem could be hereditary. He will also tell you that it is known to increase with stress. He'll tell you that we can give you some external ointments that can help to some extent, or we could give you immunosuppressants or steroids or biologicals, all of which can control your problem to a large extent, but not necessarily cure you. Then you ask the doctor, why did I get psoriasis? And he'll tell you, we do not know the cause of psoriasis, but we know that it's an autoimmune disorder. Then you ask, what is an autoimmune disorder? And he will tell you that it is a condition where your own cells fight against you. Now you're not satisfied with the doctor's explanation. You go back home and you browse Google, trying to figure out what the whole world is saying about psoriasis. You more or less see the same things on the internet that the doctor has told you, and you accept the fact that you have no idea why you got psoriasis and the fact that there is no cure for psoriasis. How can there be a cure when you don't even know the cause of psoriasis? I always keep telling people that we as doctors know only about 20% of what we are supposed to know. What we know we can cure, like chickenpox, smallpox, malaria, tuberculosis, infections. But most of the chronic diseases we do not know the cause. We only know the effect. And hence medical science can control the symptoms but cannot cure. Cure can happen only if both the effect and the cause are treated. Now, I will not explain to you what happens within the body in psoriasis because all the detailed information is available on Google. Let me address how your mind will react when you are diagnosed with psoriasis. Once you are diagnosed with psoriasis and you have heard from the doctor and Google the worst that can happen to you, including the fact that patches can happen all over your body and that you may develop psoriatic arthritis, and the fact that there is no cure. There is a sadness or a hopelessness that hits you. The realization that you're stuck with an incurable disease. Now, in your life, you would have seen many people with psoriasis or many photographs of people with psoriasis. Now, in your mind, you will select the worst case of psoriasis that you have seen, and you will start imagining that you will finally end up like that. You may even imagine that you develop psoriatic arthritis and you become crippled and you end up in a wheelchair. You may also imagine that all the medicines you're taking will have some terrible side effects on your liver and kidneys, and you may end up with a liver or a kidney disease. You need to understand that there are trillions of cells in your body, and they all have an intelligence within them. Your body is a slave of your mind. The body will do everything that the mind tells it to do. For example, move your hands up, move it down, sit down. To the extent that the mind, even if the mind tells the body to do something evil, it will obey. The intelligence of the cells in the body knows only how to take a command. It does not have the ability to think. Has it ever happened that you commanded the body to jump, but the body decided not to jump? No. Body does not think, it only obeys the command. So, when you constantly dwell on the worst that can happen to you, and you keep imagining it, the cells in the body will think that it is being given a command, and it will start to work towards it. It does not have the intelligence to understand that it is your fear and anxiety that are generating these thoughts. So you slowly head towards what you have manifested in your mind. I used to have a family coming to me for treatment. Of the 4, except the father, the rest were all taking medicines from me. But every visit, the father would tell me to please check his BP. And I would always check it and it would be normal. I would ask him, why are you checking it so often? And he would just nod his head. Finally, one day I said, congratulations, your BP is high. What happened here is that he manifested the BP onto himself. Your mind, unfortunately, will not look at the millions of people with psoriasis who have a very few patches on the body here and there, and they stay like that their entire life and they look perfectly fine. You will not think of all those people who have psoriasis but they take absolutely no treatment and they are perfectly fine. You don't look at all the majority of psoriatic patients who do not develop any kind of arthritis or any other complications. Unfortunately, you only look at the few percentage of people with psoriasis who develop patches all over the body, or you look at the very few who develop psoriatic arthritis and you begin to manifest these within you. Does having a psoriatic patch take away the fact that you're a nice person, a loving person, a compassionate person, an intelligent person, and a smart person, and a very funny person? Why is it that you think that a patch on your body will take away everything that you have? Why do you suddenly become an introvert from being a dashing personality? Why does the skin condition take away your confidence? Why do you suddenly start wearing full sleeves and cover your patch by wearing full sleeves? Why do you stop going out and meeting people just because you have a visible patch on your skin? Did you do something so terrible because of which you develop psoriasis? Why are you so ashamed when you are not responsible for your skin condition? Does doing all this make any sense to you? You are not even thinking. Do you think that people love you for your flawless skin, your physical looks? You may be a very good looking person, but who cares about you if you are dumb, if you are unintelligent, or if you are not funny, if you are not loving, or if you are not compassionate? Your looks may get you attention, but it cannot sustain interest in you. It's time to get out of your conditioning. It's time to break free from these restrictions and have an unrestricted life. Time to fire all your cylinders and regain your confidence in life. Let's try and understand psoriasis in a different perspective that you may not have read or heard or thought about. Science says that psoriasis is an autoimmune disorder. So I began to explore what an autoimmune disorder is. Now, when you read about an autoimmune disorder, the medical science says that psoriasis is an autoimmune disorder, which means our own cells are working against us. This is where I started to explore, why would our own cells fight against us? What is it that makes our cells do this? Now, all of us go through pleasant and unpleasant events as we grow up from our womb till date. It has been scientifically proven that even in the womb, the fetus is capable of experiencing pleasant and unpleasant events. Most of us revisit pleasant events, but we normally don't revisit unpleasant events. Don't you remember most of the unpleasant experiences that you have gone through from your childhood till now? And every time you remember unpleasant events, don't you also feel the emotion that goes with it? If you're able to remember some events after many years, it means that it has affected you intensely. Now, if you're going through the same emotion every time you recollect this event, isn't it proof enough that these emotions are still trapped within you? Today, when you recollect these unpleasant events, it may appear to be a very small event or a silly event. It is silly that you reacted that way then. But every time you recollect, even today, you still feel that same emotion that you felt then. This means that not only are your emotions trapped, but even the way you understood that event in your understanding and intelligence is also trapped. These trapped emotions are what is working against you and making your cells work against you, causing autoimmune disorders. You may say, but I don't recollect these unpleasant events at all, so why would I be suffering? Though you are not remembering these unpleasant events all the time, the fact that you are able to recollect it and feel the emotion means that it is there either in your conscious, subconscious, or unconscious dimension. It is active in some dimension of you and working against you. The only way you can stop your cells from working against you is by releasing these trapped emotions. Now, these trapped emotions are what some people call karma, or some people call it as an emotional baggage which we carry with us. Don't you think carrying this burden all your life will cause some or the other problem to you? Don't you want to dump this emotional baggage? How do we do this? Now, I'll share with you a guided meditation which I have made to help and guide you with revisiting the many unpleasant events in your life. I made an audio in such a way that you will not only be able to revisit the events that you remember consciously, but also events which are stored in your subconscious mind. I have also made it in such a way that I will guide you to release these trapped emotions. You can connect with me on WhatsApp and I will share the link to the audio. This is an intense experience and it is done best under supervision. One of the first and foremost things that I would focus once I am diagnosed with psoriasis is to balance the 5 elements of nature. Earth. Everything that is there in the earth is there within our body. All the minerals of the earth like zinc, calcium, magnesium, everything is there within our blood. So I would walk barefoot on the ground or grass, or I would stand on the grass, would work with the plants, water them, take care of them. Water. Our body is made of 70% of water and it is important to keep the water element in balance. So I would take long showers, let the water caress my body for long periods of time. I would take multiple showers in the day. If I had a pool, I would spend a lot of time in the pool. I would do most of my exercise in the pool and I would be in sync with the water element. Do you remember when you had a long day emotionally or physically and you're tired? You have a shower and you feel very fresh. Some people have hot shower or some people have cold shower. It is not the temperature of the water that is making you feel fresh. It is a vibration in the water that is rejuvenating the vibration of the 70% water in your body and making you feel vibrant and feel fresh. Fire or heat. Every day of my life I would spend half an hour in the sun, preferably during sunrise or sunset. This will not only help me absorbing the vitamin D from the sunlight, but it will also allow me time to appreciate the beauty of a sunrise and a sunset. Air and space. Balancing this happens by doing yoga and pranayama every day. A lot of pranayama or breathing exercises are available on YouTube, and I would certainly spend a few minutes correcting my breathing because this will help me correct those trapped breathing within me which happened during the unpleasant events. We are all made of the above 5 elements and it is very important to be in touch with our source of creation. It is like an electric car. It needs to be charged to be able to function. Similarly, our body needs to be charged and this will happen in being in touch with our source of creation. What can homeopathy do for psoriasis? Psoriasis is a messy problem to live with. What affects the person the most is the social awkwardness that comes with it. It is embarrassing to be seen in a crowd with white flakes falling on your shirt from the scalp. your skin showing off on the hands or the face or on the forehead, or you're having rough cracked hands, this is a big embarrassment to shake hand with people. Disfigured nails or cracked nails that can embarrass you. You're conscious of wearing half sleeves or shorts or getting into a swimming pool with lesions on the body showing. One of the most useful information that is available on the net about psoriasis is that it increases with stress. And all the above situations that I just mentioned are very stressful situations. You need to understand that psoriasis is an internal process that happens which keeps on multiplying the skin cells. So whatever you do from the outside, it cannot stop this process. It can temporarily take it away. The only way the process can be stopped is from the inside. And that is exactly what homeopathy does. This will take some time. At our clinic, we have treated close to 1700 patients of psoriasis, and we have been very successful in some, partially successful in some, and there are a few who did not respond also. Very successful where we have not just been able to stop the progress of the disease, but we have been able to get rid of the existing lesions also. Partially successful where we have been able to stop any further patches from developing. Those of you who have not yet started allopathy, just stick to homeopathy and we are very confident of taking care of you. Those of you who have already started on allopathic medications like immunosuppressants, etc., continue the medication but parallelly start on our medicines as a complement to whatever you are taking. And as you begin to see an improvement, you can reduce the allopathic medication. I am only advising you to taper off the allopathy just to avoid long-term side effects that can happen to the body. In many cases, I have found that applying virgin coconut oil or thick Vaseline regularly to the lesion, also to the rest of the body, has been of great help. Those of you who are embarrassed about the lesion showing off may apply some steroid ointments locally to keep the lesion under control. Once it gets better with our combinations or medicines, taper the use of steroids. We have found most people responding in about 3 to 6 months of treatment. Some of them continue for a year or two. Some of them stop medicines, come back to us after 4-5 years because they've had a recurrence also. Frankly, the options of treatment available are very limited for psoriasis. This is a much better option for you to treat your psoriasis very safely without any side effects. Diet to be followed for psoriasis. If 5 of us drink milk or have non-vegetarian, will we all react the same way? No. Each of us will have a different experience. So diet is a very personalized thing. There cannot be a common diet for a disease. It has to be individualized. So go on to Google and type dosha quiz. This is an Ayurvedic way of finding out if your Vata, Pitta or Kapha is high. Once you answer the quiz, it will give you the personality depending upon your dosha. This is a very traditional and an age-old Ayurvedic way of finding out your constitution. Research a little more and find out what food suits you and what will not suit you. There cannot be a better diet than an individualized diet, and of course, you keep watching and listening to your body so that you are also aware of what is good and bad for you. I would also strongly recommend you join Inner Engineering by Sadhguru, as it will change your perspective about life and help you to be joyful. Now, different ways of accepting a diagnosis of psoriasis. Now, those who believe in karma, accept it as karma. A very well-known and respected Swami, Sri Ganapati Sachidananda Swamiji told, do not pray for the disease to go away, but pray for the strength to endure the disease. Because by enduring it, you're burning your karma and freeing yourself for the future. Now, those of you who don't believe in karma, but only science, do what you think is best in terms of medication available. But trust and have faith in the process. Do not let your mind make you suffer mentally. Those who believe in destiny must know that what is meant to happen will anyway happen. They can choose to let the body heal itself and take medical help when it begins to affect their normal life, or when you suffer due to the disease. Whatever you do, whatever you choose, from today you should stop suffering mentally about psoriasis and just be joyful. Stay in touch with me on my Insta page. Regularly I keep posting different perspectives of health and lifestyle. You could follow me and you could be in touch with me. So you take care.